Hello, seventh graders. Today we are going to discuss a new grammar lesson which is available in your Pioneer book, student book, page unit 8, 8C, page number 83, the passive voice, and we're going to start with the past simple tense. And in the next video, we're going to cover the simple present tense in passive voice. So let's start with the passive voice in the simple present tense. Actually, in English, there are two special forms for verbs. We call them the voices. These two forms are the active voice and the other one is the passive voice. The active voice is the most common one, which I suppose that all of you or most of you just have an idea about. Read the sentence. Cats eat fish. It consists of the subject, which is cats, and the verb, eat, and the object, fish. This is the normal structure for the sentence in English, which is the active voice, subject plus the verb and the object. Read the sentence. The dog bit the mailman. The dog is the subject here, and bit is the verb, and the mailman is the object. This is an active voice sentence. The subject is clear, and you have a verb, and we have an object here. This is the subject, the dog. Let us say that I have got no idea about that subject. I don't know who the subject is. What should I use? What is the correct form that I have to use if I have no idea about the subject? How can I say it? The mailman was bitten. Notice here, the agent or the subject is not known or it's not mentioned, it's not specified in this sentence. I only knew that the mailman was bitten by whom I don't know. Or I can say the mailman was bitten by the dog. I added the dog or by the dog at the end of the sentence. The agent, the dog, or the subject, which is the dog, it's mentioned at the end of the sentence here, which means that it is less important than the object. That's why we moved it into the back of the sentence or the end of the sentence. And here we go to the passive voice. We use the passive voice when we want to make the active object more important, when we focus only on the object, or we do not know the active subject, or we have no idea about the subject. So we use that form, the passive voice, in two cases mainly. If we have no idea about the subject, we do not know who the subject is, or if the subject is less important than the object, which means I just focus on the object, I just focus on what happened for the object and not the subject anymore. What about the structure of the passive voice in the past simple tense? The simple past tense in the passive voice is as the following. It consists of the verb to be, was, or were, plus the past participle. The helping verb was. We use it if the subject is a singular pronoun or a singular noun. Singular pronoun, I mean I, he, she, and it. Whereas we use were for the plural pronouns. We, they, and you, and the plural nouns also. Then we add the past participle, verb number 3. See this sentence. The man was knocked down by the car. Let us see the helping verb and the past participle in this sentence, and let us see where is the object and the subject here. The man, it is a singular noun. We used was because it's singular. Then we add knocked, which is the past participle of knock. Then we add by the car. We put the subject at the end preceded by the word by. See the other one. Some oranges were eaten by the child. Some oranges is a plural noun here. That's why we used were. Then we followed it by the past participle of eat, which is eaten. Then we add by, and after by we add the subject, the child. Notice that by plus the subject is optional at the end of the sentence, which means it's not compulsory to be added at the end of the sentence. It's optional. So if you say the man was knocked down, it's okay. And if you say the man was knocked down by a car or whatever, it's gonna be okay also. Let us see these examples. Let us see how can we convert these sentences from active voice into the passive voice step by step. The teacher dropped the pen. The first step we have to do is pointing out the subject of the sentence, and the subject here is the teacher. We put it at the end of the sentence preceded by the word by, so it becomes by the teacher. We move it into the end of the sentence. Okay? This is the first step. Let us see what next. We have to point out the object of the sentence, which is the pen in this sentence, in our example, and directly you have to move it into the or at the beginning of the sentence. So I put the object at the beginning of the sentence, which is the pen. Okay? Then you have to ask yourself, which verb to be I have to use, was or were? Why I have to choose was or were depending on the tense that we have in the original sentence. The original sentence is the teacher dropped the pen, okay? It is in the past tense. Notice the verb dropped. It is in the simple past tense. That's why I have to use the appropriate verb to be, which is was or were. Was if the object is singular, and were if the object is a plural noun or plural pronoun. The pen is a singular noun here. That's why we're gonna use was. So the pen was or were, definitely it is was. The pen was. What about the past participle of drop? In the original sentence, the verb was dropped in the simple past tense. I want the past participle from it, which is dropped. So the final sentence is the following. The pen was dropped by the teacher. Let us see these Examples. He wrote a letter. The subject here is he. Wrote is the verb in the simple past tense, and the letter is the object. As we discussed before a while, we take the object into the beginning of the sentence, so it becomes the letter, and we choose the appropriate verb to be according to the object. If it's a singular, we use was. It's singular here, that's why we chose was. Then we use the past participle from wrote, it is written, so it becomes the letter was written. You can add the subject of the end at the end of the sentence preceded by the word by. The letter was written by him, because also the pronouns is converted also. He becomes him. Okay? Let us see this sentence also. Read it. They took the kids for a walk. Where is the object here? It's the kids. We put it at the beginning. It's a plural noun. That's why we use were, and we take the past participle of took, which is taken. So it becomes the kids were taken. The kids. This Y is extra. Sorry for this. The kids were taken for a walk. We can add the subject at the end of the sentence, so we can say the kids were taken for a walk by them or by their moms. If we have a negative sentence in the past tense, it's super easy to convert it into the passive voice. We just add the negative or not to the verb to be. See this example. She didn't drink the hot chocolate. She is the subject, didn't drink is the verb, it is a negative verb here. The hot chocolate is the object. We move the object into the beginning of the sentence, the hot chocolate, okay, and directly I move not to the helping verb here. So the hot chocolate singular, was is the appropriate verb to be here. So I have to make it negative because the original sentence is in the negative form. So it becomes the hot chocolate wasn't drunk by her. She becomes her. Okay? And also, if we have a plural object, let us say she didn't drink the hot chocolate cups. It has to be what? The hot chocolate cups weren't drunk by her. Now, your homework is, I want from you to convert the following sentences into passive. The first one is, my cousin didn't design this bag. Convert it into the passive form. The next one, and notice it is a negative one, the first sentence. The second one, Ahmed took many pictures. Convert it into the passive voice. The second question, change the following sentence into the active voice. This book was written by Fadwa Toqan. Convert this passive sentence into the active voice. That's all for today. I want to thank you for listening. And in the next video, we're going to cover the passive voice in the simple past, in the simple present tense. Thanks indeed, and see you later.